My name is Madeline Bullinger. My presentation is over the poem The Leap by James Dickey. James Dickey was a well-known American poet and novelist. Although he used a wide variety of voices in his poetry, James Dickey is most known for his poetry that reflects on American history. This interest in history probably had something to do with his military career. James Dickey served in the United States Air Force during both the Second World War and the Korean War. James Dickey's most emotional poems are those that are based off of his memories. The Leap is a good example of this. The poem starts with the speaker reflecting on his memories of a childhood friend named Jane McNaughton. He starts by telling about the one part of Jane that he remembers her by, the Jane that was in his dancing class. This Jane, although she was a young lady, was not afraid to prove her toughness to the boys in school. At this point in the poem, the speaker begins to compare everything that he remembers about Jane McNaughton to things that he believes have happened in recent years. The speaker explains that he just read in the newspaper that Jane McNaughton, mother of 4, recently leapt to her death from the window of a downtown hotel. An example of the speaker's comparison is when he says in line 40, "Of the playground, some boy who did not depend on speed of foot caught and betrayed her." This comparison is a reference to Jane's speed in races on the playground. The speaker finishes the poem by telling of the pleasant memories that he has of Jane, as well as her talents that surpass the level of any other students in the school. This poem is laid out in stanzas. For the most part, each stanza represents a change in thought, but sometimes one idea overlaps into 2 or 3 stanzas. The main setting of this poem is in an elementary or middle school during the years that the speaker was a young student. The theme of this poem is falling. One can draw this conclusion based on the poem's title, The Leap. The original leap makes the reader temporarily think that the theme of this poem might be a playful or happy leap. But after the detailed descriptions of Jane's second and final leap, it is clear that falling is really what is meant by the author in giving the poem its title. In conclusion, the poem The Leap by James Dickey is very entertaining to read despite its rather depressing theme. The balance that this poem has between both light and dark perspectives makes for an interesting poem.
Created using Powtoon.